Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build Twitter. We're in episode 81, and in this episode, we continue working on the right side content of the landing page. Firstly, we bring the component that we worked on last episode into the landing page. That way we can see what we're working with, and after being able to see the changes made to the component, we style it using CSS to more closely match the styling on the Twitter landing page. Then we wrap up the episode by setting up some custom buttons for the sign up with Google, sign up with Apple, and create account with email options on the right side. As always, I'm Ethan on Koder, and let's hop straight into the development. Now we should probably go ahead and refactor the landing page to actually include this. So back in the landing page, we'll go ahead and import this. So we'll go ahead and import our right side bar from // and this is going to come from features /landing /components /right sidebar /right sidebar. We'll probably clean that up and make it look a little bit prettier later. So imagine where this is going to go, probably right here in the right sidebar. We're going to delete this button and we're going to fix this. So now instead of this, we're just going to have a right side bar and we're going to need a toggle login. So toggle login is just going to be basically nothing for the time being. So it's going to have an empty method there, or function, and then toggle register will once again just be toggle register, and then we can go ahead and close that. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal was, but that should be good. And if we come back now, if we go ahead and come back in here, it's not going to look spectacular. It's actually going to look pretty horrible because this is massive. But if we go ahead and create account, it opens up this, and we also need to go ahead and like disable like scrolling and stuff, but it is what it is. That looks good. Well, relatively good. It doesn't look good because it's broken right now. But the first thing we'll go ahead and do is we'll fix up our link. So we're going to go into our back in here. We're going to go back into our global.css inside of our assets, global CSS. And we're going to go ahead and say .link, and .link is just going to have a cursor, a pointer, and we're going to have .link and :hover. And then this is going to be text decoration of underline and save. So now if we come back into our thing here and we see now our link's working, we'll have to go back through and fix all of that stuff up later to make it look a little bit nicer. And now we can take a look at the basic CSS that we've got for our sidebar. So back into VS Code and into our sidebar.css. So to start out, we'll obviously have our right -side -bar. And here we'll have a width 100% as we typically do. We'll have our height of 100%. Have our display be flex. If I could type flex, we're going to have our flex direction be column. And we'll have our justify content be center. And we're going to have our line items, align -items be flex start. Oops, flex -start. And finally, we're going to have a padding of 36 pixels all around. That'll make it look a little bit better, give a little bit of space on the sides. And then now, the biggest thing, we need to go ahead and get this right side bar -logo fixed up. It's definitely way too big right now. So our height on this logo will be about 40 pixels. This is slightly bigger than what Twitter does, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Width is also going to be 40 pixels, like so. Cool. And now this should give it a lot better look already. If we come back into Chrome, as you can see, it already looks way better than it did before just by changing that up. There are a few more things that we're going to want to go ahead and clean up though, so we'll go ahead and work on that. Now we'll do the right -side -bar -h1. In the right sidebar h1, we'll have a font size of 64 pixels. It's going to have a font weight of 700. It's a thick one. And then it's going to have the font family of Ubuntu. And this is a sans serif. All right, cool. Now we need to go ahead and do right sidebar h2, right sidebar h2. And this is going to have a font -size of 36 pixels. We're going to have a font weight of 700 again. This is going to have the font family of Ubuntu once again. Hopefully I don't spell these wrong. Ubuntu, I believe, and sans-serif. And then we're also going to have a margin of 0 on this one. We're going to have a margin bottom. Margin bottom of 32 pixels. Save. Just a few more here. Now we need our right sidebar wrapper. Right dash side dash bar dash sign up wrapper. So our right sign up wrapper, we're gonna have a width of 300 pixels. And it's gonna have a display of flex, and it's going to have a flex direction of column. And this is basically what Twitter uses, is about 300 pixels. Then we have our divider, right dash side dash bar dash divider. And here, what we're going to do is have a width of 100%, not $% We're going to have a display of flex. We're going to have a justify content of space evenly. And we're going to have align items center. We're going to align that in the middle. Now, right dash side dash bar dash line. So this one I had a little bit differently. We still want a margin dash top of 5 pixels. This one I kind of fixed width of 100%. But this time we want a height of 1 px. And then we want a background color of RGBA. And it's going to be 000.1. So very light, faint gray. And the dot right dash side dash bar, or this is going to be a font size of 15 pixels. Going to have a font weight of 300, so a little bit lighter. It's going to have a margin left and right of 5 pixels. So margin left 5 px and margin right 5 px, just to space it out a little bit so it's not encroaching on it. And we're about done here. Next is dot right side bar, and then we need the legal. So we'll do the legal, and this will be font size of 11. It's really small, and the margin will be 0, and then the margin bottom will be 20 pixels. I really need to go back through and actually fix so that the margins are 0 on everything. There's something somewhere overriding it that I need to figure out, but it's fine. We'll figure it out some other time. Right sidebar, login, wrapper. And now this one will be width of 300 pixels. Again, like above, this one is going to have a display flex as well. And we probably could have reused just the sign up wrapper, but whatever. Flex direction is column. Our margin will be 0. And we want a margin top of 40 px. And finally, dot right dash side dash bar dash h3. And this will have a font size of 17 px and then a font weight of 600. So this should pretty well set us up for this. So let's go ahead and take a peek at this. So obviously the buttons are still scuffed, but our divider line looks pretty good. Our text looks pretty good. And the left and right sidebar and everything like that look pretty good. So what we want to go ahead and do next is go ahead and try to set up the buttons for sign up with Google, sign up with Apple, and so on and so forth. Heading back into our code, I'm going to go ahead and close out of our right sidebar CSS for a while. We'll still need the right sidebar TSX. And inside of our landing components, I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder. I'm going to call this buttons, and we're going to go ahead and make a new file, and I'm going to call this Google button.tsx. I'm also going to make a new file called buttons.css, like so, And we can go ahead and close out a couple things here. So we just need to go ahead and import React from React. And then I need to go ahead and drag and drop a Google logo into our assets folder. Now that we have our Google logo, I'm gonna go ahead and import Google from, we need to go all the way out to assets. So assets/google.png. Again, this is just the Google logo. We're gonna go ahead and import our global assets. So we're gonna say import, go all the way out to assets, and then /global.css. And finally, we're gonna import our /buttons.css. I believe that's everything we need. To go ahead and export const, and we need to go ahead and export our Google button. And what we're gonna want to do is this will be a react.fc, and this doesn't need any input or anything. We go ahead and do one of these and do that. Cool. So now we can go ahead and return. And what we'll do is return a div, and eventually we're gonna need to do something with this, I imagine, but also I think it's because we're not actually making this button do anything, so that's why I don't have it on click listener on this. But we're gonna have a div, and we're gonna call this landing button, and we're gonna say color gray, because we want gray text, and then we're gonna have Google as the other name, and the image src is going to be obviously Google, because we're gonna have our Google logo. We're gonna have a class name on this one. Class name equal to landing dash button logo. Let me fix this. Landing dash button dash logo. And that should be good. And finally, we're gonna have a P with some information in it. Class name on this one is going to equal to Google dash text. Because Twitter made some of these texts different, it's kind of annoying, but what can you do? It's going to sign up with Google. So now inside of our button.css, we're going to add a few things for this that we're going to reuse for some other things. So firstly, we have our landing dash button, and our landing button is going to have a display of flex, and it's going to have a justify content of center. Is going to have an align items of center. It's going to have a width of 100%. And the height of these buttons should be 40 pixels no matter what. And it's going to have a border radius of 20 pixels and a padding, just to make it look a little bit nicer, of 12 pixels. So all of our landing, all of our sign up buttons are going to have this. Then we're going to have a landing dash button dash logo, and here what we're going to have is height is going to be 20 pixels. We're going to have a width of 20 pixels. So all of our landing button logos are going to have that. And then we have our specific ones, so such as Google text. So the Google text size is going to be 14px. It's a little bit smaller. It's going to have a margin left of about 5 pixels. This is just personal preference. I thought it looked a little bit better. And then our .google is going to have a margin bottom of 20 pixels. And it's going to have a border of 1 pixel, solid gray. And then whenever we hover, Google : hover. Whenever we hover, it's going to have cursor a pointer. It's going to have a border. The border is going to change slightly of 1px, solid, RGB, 100, 156, 176. It's like a dark blue-ish or light bluish color. We're going to have the background color change to this color as well, RGBA, except this time we'll have 100, 156, 176. Except it's going to be a little bit darker because it's going to be lighter. It's going to be more transparent. So that is our Google button. So now we need another button called Apple button. So let's go ahead and make that button. So if we come back into our buttons and we make a new file, we'll call this Apple button.tsx. And similarly to our Google button, we're going to need a couple things. Well, of course, need to import React from React. And I'm going to go ahead and copy over an Apple logo. Apple logo is pulled over, so I'm going to go ahead and import Apple from our assets folder, assets/apple.png. We'll import our global CSS. Whoops, too far. Assets/global.css. And then we'll also go ahead and import our /buttons.css. Okay, and from here, we'll go ahead and export const. And this will be Apple button. And this is a react.fc. As always. And this is going to go ahead and just return a div. And in here, we need a class name equal to landing button. And this will be Apple. And then we'll have an image. The src will equal to Apple, of course. And class name will be landing dash button. And then this will be dash logo. All right. And let me fix this. Cool. And then we'll say P, and this will be class name equal to Apple dash text. Again, Twitter made things different. I don't know why. Sign up with Apple. So this is our basics of our Apple button. I just need to go ahead and set up our Apple button CSS, side buttons.css. So below Google, we'll say .apple, and .apple is going to have a border of 1px, solid gray. They also made the hover and stuff different, so that's also great. Thank you, Twitter. Hover, and this is going to be cursor pointer. And we're going to have a border of 1px solid RGB. And this is going to be 87, 87, 87. It's going to be a little bit darker gray color. And then the background color is going to be similar to the Google. We're going to say RGBA. And it's going to be 87, 87, 87. And then 0.1 to make it a little bit darker, kind of. You'll see what it looks like. And then .apple dash text, and Apple text is going to have a little bit larger font size of 15 pixels. It will have a font weight of a little bit thicker as well, 600. And then finally, it'll also have a margin left just to look a little bit nicer of 5 pixels. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now we need one more button called the sign up button for the time being, and we'll go ahead and make that one. So I'm going to move this over, and we're going to make one more button in here. We'll actually make a couple more, but I digress. Go ahead and make a new file, and this will be called sign up button.tsx. This one's going to be slightly different. We'll go ahead and import React from React again. And then we'll also import our buttons.buttons.css. And we need an interface for this one. So interface sign up button props. And this is going to have a handle click on it, which will be a void function like so. We need to export our sign up button, which is a react.function component, which takes in a sign up button props. I forgot the const keyword. Export const sign up button props, and equal to, go ahead and break this apart. Handle click for return our div. And this will once again be a landing dash button space sign dash up. Cool. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. Landing dash button. All right, close enough. And I'll add sign up to it. And sign dash up. And we'll go ahead and add the on click to this. Click is going to be equal to handle click, like so. And then in here, we'll have a p tag, the class name equal to sign up text, like so. And then this is going to say sign up with email and save. Now this also needs some CSS. Go ahead and pull open our button.css, and we need to add 3 more things. First one is .sign dash up. I don't know why I didn't use background blue on this, but whatever. Background color is going to be 1D9 BF0. It's Twitter blue. I don't know why I didn't use background color blue, but whatever. Of a margin bottom 5px. I have a .sign up hover. So whenever we hover over it, it'll be cursor pointer, and then the background color will change slightly. I don't know why it didn't do that for me. Okay. Background color is going to be a little bit darker. So like 0, E8, 7, D8. So it's going to be just slightly darker tinge. And then we'll have a .sign up text. Excuse me, hiccups. Font size is going to be 16px. And then our font weight. Font dash weight is going to be 600. And finally, our color is going to be white on this one. And save that. Now all these buttons for signing up should be good to go. Unfortunately, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please stick around for the next episode by hitting that subscribe button. You'll know exactly when it comes out, especially with that bell icon. If you did enjoy the content today, please sure to leave a thumbs up. If you did enjoy it, leave a thumbs down. Either way, it helps out with the algorithm all the same. And finally, if you have any suggestions or feedback for me, make sure you leave a comment down below. With that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.